that you had you 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 could you do you want you could do so you do you could you want him to do you so much you could do anything.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny, and speaking about the corrupt Soviet Politburo that ruled Soviet Russia for some 80-odd years, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who was a political prisoner of that regime, had this to say. They know that we know they're lying. We know that they know we know they're lying. And they still continue to lie. Ladies and gentlemen, the Democrat Party is lying about Joe Biden. They're lying about Joe Biden's fitness for office. And now the people who know about this are beginning to speak up. And it's pretty astonishing, actually, what they're saying. The man on screen here is a guy named Andrew Yang. Probably heard of him. The Yang Gang, right? People talked a lot about it. He ran for president against Joe Biden. He was on the debate stage with Joe Biden and Joe Biden's vice president there not too long ago, nigh on 3 years ago. Andrew Yang was out there debating for the future of the Democrat Party, presenting quite a different image, of course, than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Yet these people won a rigged primary by the Democrats, and Andrew Yang, with his somewhat populist viewpoint on the Democrat Party, don't like everything that he has to say, but certainly don't hate everything that he has to say. Agree with some of it, actually. Andrew Yang went on to defeat, right? The corporate Soviet Politburo of the Democrat Party wouldn't allow somebody like that to win, and certainly wouldn't allow somebody with the populist appeal of Bernie Sanders to win. And so they are now done. And Andrew Yang is doing interviews. And Andrew Yang did an interview 3 years out from Joe Biden's inauguration, okay, to be resident of the White House, on Jesse Waters' show. And he revealed something really alarming. Andrew Yang says that people around Joe Biden have noticed a sharp mental decline, and it's time for him to step aside. Watch this.
Debated Joe Biden. Have you noticed a difference in his performance?
I haven't been around him personally up close, but I've been talking to folks, and they've noticed a decline.
In what way?
Oh, they say that, he's not as energetic, that he sometimes seems to lose concentration and focus. And the fact is that the guy's 81 years old. He would have to be highly unusual not to be experiencing something that's very, very natural. Most Americans want to turn the page from both Biden and Trump. 70% of Americans say they'd like to see a different generation take.
I do want to stop here for a second and say that Andrew Yang is a billionaire. He's a very rich person. Democrats tell him things. He's obviously somebody who is integral to the Democratic Party system going forward, even though he got schlonged in the 2020 presidential election. Maybe he'll run again. But he's well-sourced. There is no argument on that. And so him saying that people around Joe Biden say he's obviously collapsing, this is a dangerous moment, in fact. And also, we should listen, clearly. But Andrew Yang saying not only is this natural, but it's something that nobody wants. Nobody wants to see Joe Biden's name on a ticket.
Not to be experiencing something that's very, very natural. Most Americans want to turn the page from both Biden and Trump. 70% of Americans say they'd like to see a different generation take hold.
Even though Trump said he aced his cognitive tests.
Again, we're talking about two guys who are near 80.
Whale, lion. Aced him. He said aced multiple. He didn't think Biden could even get whale.
I'm here saying that neither of these guys is what we need in 2025 to 2028 to actually solve the problems of this era that are getting rougher and more complex all the time, including closing the border or enforcing the border in a way that makes sense to most Americans.
So you're just a normal, rational, reasonable problem solver, and you find that there's no place for you in the Democrat Party.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who are finding the same thing, and that's one reason why so many independents now are trying to figure out where they stand. I think Dean Phillips can unify the country because he wants to have a nonpartisan, bipartisan cabinet. He wants to bring people together across party lines, and I personally would love to see it. I'm here for it.
All right, he's here for it, and he's here for primetime. His favorite show on Fox News.
All right. So Andrew Yang is making the case that nobody wants Joe Biden. Now, he also, of course, he's a Democrat, so he has to be like, nobody wants Donald Trump, actually. But the polling is actually not backing that up. This is a poll from ABC News, big time fake news poll, right? Corporate media would never accept this ABC News poll saying that Joe Biden hits all new low in approval ahead of Iowa. Check out some of these crosstabs. This stuff's wild. And this proves, of course, that Andrew Yang is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Yang saying that nobody wants Joe Biden. And that's correct. Satisfactory as the party's nominee. Joe Biden can't get barely 50%. Donald Trump gets 72. Presidential job approval. Joe Biden has worse job approval than Donald Trump's retrospective job approval. Oh, man. Favorability. Joe Biden loses to Donald Trump in unfavorables. Check this. This is the one that I think is hilarious. Has the mental sharpness it takes to serve effectively as president. The orange bar means Trump and the green bar means Biden. Biden at 28% in both physical health and mental sharpness. And Donald Trump, of course, towering over him by 10 and 30 points. 10, 20, and 30 points. 57% of people say that Donald Trump has good physical health to serve as president. So Andrew Yang making that case, along with other big-time players in the Democrat Party, like Stephen Smith, the ESPN commentator, sports commentator, going also on Fox News and saying Joe Biden needs to drop out.
To Biden, clearly he doesn't seem to be as cogent and as lucid as we would like him to be. My bigger point was this. It is a disgrace for the Democratic Party to call themselves progressives when they're virtually begging an 82-year-old man at election time to run for re-election. That is the point that I was making. You're supposed to be progressive, right? You're supposed to be moving forward. You're supposed to be thinking forward. You're supposed to be being innovative and younger and all of this other stuff. And you're leaning on the hopes and the prayers of an 82-year-old who would be Joe Biden. He's 80 right now. He'd be going 81. He'll be 82 at the time of re-election if that were to happen. To depend on him is an indictment against the Democratic Party. And the reason I brought up Gavin Newsom is because, listen, I am absolutely positively allergic to the high taxes in California. I can't stand them. To me, the state invents ways to take your money.
So Stephen Smith goes on to explain how he doesn't like Gavin Newsom because he doesn't like living in California and the high taxes. But anything is a better option than Joe Biden. This is why Donald Trump is saying that Joe Biden probably won't make it to the general election.
Do you think Biden will drop out?
Personally, I think so.
And
I think so.
Who joins Donald Trump in that criticism? The vice president.
There's some Democratic donors, and they have told us that should something befall President Biden and he is not able to run, that there would be a free-for-all for who would run as president.
Because Joe Biden is very much alive and running for re-election.
Joe Biden's very much alive. Not for long, says Michelle. Michelle Obama may already be working on a 2024 White House bid. Uh-oh. What does this mean? Well, according to this columnist at the New York Post, big-time donors are getting calls being asked about Michelle. Obama has polled donors, and that these calls are effectively coming on behalf of the fact that they know that they are going to lose. U.S. needs a centrist, strong, tough leader and an independent voter mass comprises the majority. Ms. Obama team has already sent a survey to heavy-duty donors asking how they'd feel about her as a candidate. The process has begun. A VIP donor in charge of a major hospital called me to say, "You must do something. The system is broken." Uh-oh. Well, there we go. Start the drum roll. Are you ready for Michelle? Are you ready for the emergency option? Well, Michelle's ready for Michelle, that's for sure.
That keep me up because you don't have control over them. And you wonder, where are we in this? Where are our hearts? What's going to happen in this next election? I am terrified about what could possibly happen because our leaders matter. Who we select, who speaks for us, who holds that bully pulpit. It affects us in ways that sometimes I think people take for granted.
Well, that bully pulpit, you see, speak softly and carry a big stick is something that Michelle Obama can take to heart. And so, ladies and gentlemen, will it be Michelle? Well, Democrats are literally backstabbing Joe Biden left and right. They are losing their damned minds over this. Kamala Harris has gone down in flames and, of course, is less popular than Joe Biden. And so what other options do they have? Donald Trump winning a unified, 50 states in the Republican caucuses and primaries? That's never happened before. What's going to happen next? Well, it's panic time. And you don't want to see what happens to these people when they get desperate. Remember, social distancing. It's your boy Benny. Keep fighting with me. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.